How is it going, guys? Welcome to the channel. Finally, we're doing my first proper modification. Obviously last week I was hoping to do this, however I was waiting on, I didn't realise I needed a part for the crossover delete, and that part is, hang on, there is no, pull it out. Was this little bugger. This is the MAF extension. I didn't realise you needed one of these until James, one of my friends, told me about it. I assumed that you just put the pipe on, obviously put your filter on like you would any other car. However, apparently because the MAF moves so much, you need one of these. You can chop into the original loom, however, that's not something I'm really a fan of. For the sake of, I think it's like 20 quid. I can just buy one of these. So I've got a crossover delete from the lads at Imperial, Imperial Motorsport I think they're called, and AEM air filter from AE Motorsport. So let's get cracking and get that fitted on, and hopefully I get some turbo noises finally. So let's crack on. Right then, obviously this is your crossover, which is made of metal, so I can only imagine, I don't understand the design of this. You guys feel free to chime in. Why is this designed like this? It just seems really pointless, because it would have been easier to go across from there to the filter, but instead of going over the engine, obviously this gets warm, so the air's coming in, going over a hot engine, you know what I mean, and then going into the turbo, so your air's already warm by the time it gets to the turbo. So I can imagine that's quite a big power, like saps a lot of power. So that's obviously the whole point of fitting the crossover delete. Only thing I've seen is there can be a little bit of a headache to get into the dipstick tube afterwards, obviously because the crossover comes in and covers that. So I can imagine that's a little bit of a headache to check your oil and all that. But other than that, I'm going to crack on now, start undoing some of these Jubilee clips, and then basically go from there and see where it goes. So let's crack on. Right then, so I can only assume it's just a case of undoing all the Jubilee clips to pull all this pipe work off, which is, you know, that's how I can imagine it'll all come off. So I'm going to do this one that comes off the turbo first. Do that one. I'm just going to crack everything off, just loosen everything up, and then basically go from there. So I'm going to do this, that's loose. Okay, so that. For some reason, the first Jubilee clip on the turbo was a different size to the rest. Obviously, you usually use a 7mm for all your, obviously all your Jubilee clips, save using a screwdriver. Just makes life easier, really. Oh, that's great, that was loose. Well, that's a brilliant start. This car seems to be developing some sort of a knack for everything not being tight. Oh, that was actually tight. Okay, let's get that one off. Oh, that's loose, that one's loose. I'll undo this one now. And then this one. Oh, right, okay, I'm going to need some Torx bits by the looks of it, because the top of the airbox is held on with them, so. Oh, good. Oh, these look lovely. What the hell is that? I might have that whole airbox as one. Oh, I don't know. Right, I'll be back in a minute, guys. Right, as you can see, I've obviously took all the pipe work off here. I've loosened this off. I noticed that there's some sort of bolt there holding this on. It doesn't seem that tight again, so another loose one, I suppose. And then I've got some Torx bits just to take this top of this airbox off. So I'm assuming it just pulls out like most airboxes do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take that off. Then I can take this out of the way and then undo these all these Torx bits that are around this top of this airbox. I'm going to pull that off, and hopefully I can just pull the actual airbox out itself. Then we're sort of ready then to fit the new crossover. Now you can see why I held off fitting my spark plugs, because it just made more sense to do it all at once. Because obviously once this is out the way, I didn't want to pull all this off, fit my spark plugs, fit my spark plug, sorry, and then obviously fit it all back on again. So it just made more sense to just do it all at once. So I'm going to undo that, bolt there, get this off, and then we'll go from there. Okay then, so obviously the crossovers are off. This pipe here, this breather pipe's obviously held on with these little clip things. This is absolutely battered. I don't know if you can really tell, it's just absolutely had it, that hose there. So it's quite lucky really I'm changing it where I am, because that pipe is just absolutely knackered. So next port of call is get the airbox off. So crack on with that now, get that out of the way, and hopefully then should start be able to putting stuff back together. Fingers crossed. So let's crack on with that now. Okay then, so everything's out now, the box is out. What I had to do is take this bracket off here as well to get the actual airbox out, because it's obviously attached to here. And it actually has got a K&N panel footer in it. Yeah, it's battered, but it's actually got one in, so that was surprising because it did say K&N on the top of the cover. However, I wasn't convinced it had one, so you probably don't really need to split the airbox, but I just did anyway, just because I wanted to have a look. For this top bolt up here, the torques you need is, this one's a T30, and for these little screws around here you will need a T20. So now that's all out of the way now, I'm going to try and figure out now how to put all this together and see if I can reuse any of the Jubilee clips, because unfortunately the crossover delete doesn't come with new Jubilee clips, but we'll see. Hey, we'll crack on now. So let's get everything back into sort of position, and then I'll update the video as and when, as always. Okay then, we're getting somewhere. Obviously the crossover's in. I've Jubilee clipped this on. I need to get another one for this side, but I don't think it's going to hurt too much, you know, for a day or so, just to have it pushed in, because it's quite a tight fit, the joiner is. So I'll put the one on the one side. I've used a Jubilee clip on this side here. I didn't really want to reuse one of them, because I don't really like them. I think they're a bit pants, to be quite honest, yeah. But I know they're easy to get on and off, but I just prefer a Jubilee clip, it's just a bit more secure. Obviously, this is why you need the MAF thing. Obviously, it could reach if you really pulled on it or pull it through there, but it seems that's the last thing you want to be putting stress on. So it's definitely worthwhile getting the MAF extension thing for it to obviously plug into there. I just need to put a Jubilee clip on, or plug it in, put a Jubilee clip on in here. The one down here is tight. I just reused the one that came off my original airbox. The same again with this one. That was just one that was on the original airbox. The air filter comes with a Jubilee clip, so I can just use that. Other than that, the fitment seems alright. It'd be nice if it just didn't. It's a bit like the Corsa. The Corsa was just jibbling around, but I might just maybe put a zip tie somewhere just to stop it from wobbling too much if I can. But yeah, so I'm going to put the Jubilee clips on now, put the MAF extension on, and then hopefully we should be ready for the start and see what it sounds like. Also, I've noticed, even though I've Jubilee clipped these up, it still seems to be leaking, and it definitely seems to be coming from here. Any idea, guys, as to why it's still leaking? Hit in the comments, just let me know. I don't know if maybe I just need a new one of these, possibly. I don't know. But I'm going to get a new one because I want a black one to match this. Obviously, that's the theme. I'm going to go with the engine with all the pipework sort of black to give it sort of that, like, you know, subtle look. But yeah, so I'm going to crack on with that now, and then I'll update you. Okay then, right. So we're all plugged in. Any problem I find with this MAF is it's a little bit too long. Could probably just been a little bit shorter. But what I have to do is try and zip tie stuff out of the way, just to try and tidy it up rather than to be jangling around and stuff. So I'll want some zip ties just to tidy it up a little bit if I can. But yeah, other than that, I think we're ready for the first start. So let's go. Right then. I did try and start it. Obviously it doesn't sound much different on idle. I can't really rev it because, as you can see, I'm underneath a flat, so I don't think I'll be in the best of their books. I'll start revving my loud car underneath their flat. So what I'm going to do is, once I'm all tied up and done everything, I'm going to take it out for a drive and I'll bring you guys along so we can listen to it together for the first time. Hopefully there's no flutter, because obviously I won't know if the reset valve's gone or anything. I won't know until it's obviously got a cone filter on it. So hopefully it's not. If it's gone, I'll put a new one on. You know me, guys, I'll just whack a new one on. But yeah, so I'm going to tidy up now. I might chuck my plugs in while we're at it, while everything's out of the way, which is what I plan to do. I'll have a look at them. And I assume they're going to be covered in oil, because obviously the oil cap's been leaking prior to me owning it, so God knows how long that's been dripping oil into, like, where the plugs sit. They won't be rusty though, at least. So yeah, we'll get the plugs out now and let's see what they look like. Okay then, so as expected, it's a bit of a mess down here. However, when I pulled the coil pack out, if you can see, it's all dry in here. So this is no oil got into the chambers where the plugs are, so that's always a good thing. And it also means my rocker cover isn't leaking, so I know they're quite common for leaking in here. So at least that's all sorted. So I'm just going to give us a bit of a wipe up first, and then I will get the plugs out and have a look at them. Right then, let's see if these are either over tightened or too loose. Oh, right, that one's done okay. Move on to the next one. Oh, yeah, that one's all right. On to the next one. Oh, that one's a little bit loose, nothing too bad though. Final one. Oh, this is tight. Oh, yeah, that's been over tightened. So yeah, the form continues, guys. It's either too tight or too loose. But we'll get them out now and have a look. Let's take this number 4 out first. Number 4, thank God I don't miss those memories. The only thing I miss, of course, is a piston fall problem. Yeah, let's have a look. It's not too bad. Looks a little bit lean, I think. Oh, that's fine. I'm gonna get the rest of them out, guys, and then we'll go from there. Okay, all plugs are out. We're a little on the lean side, nothing awful though. They don't look ancient. They look old, but not ancient. So, but it's always worth changing them, isn't it, guys? So, but yeah, I'll just keep an eye on it. But I don't think they do. They're not obviously too. Like I said, they look a little bit lean. Look worse in the camera than they are. It's not like a golden brown like I'd like to see, but they're not black and they're not bright white. So nothing to worry about really. So let's chuck the new ones in. Right then, everything's ready to go. How do you think it looks, guys? I just think it gives a much tidier look to the engine bay rather than having everything all over here in the way. I just think it gives it generally a tidier look, and obviously it's got to do something for performance, surely. So obviously it's taking feed from the air filter straight into the turbo rather than going all the way around here over the hot engine and then into the turbo. So I assume that's got to do more good than bad, and it looks better as well. Obviously plugs are in now, so they're all sweet. Obviously there's a few bits I need to do still on the engine bay. I need to change this, that's that one-way valve thing I need to change, how it's got those stupid clip things on it, the ones you can use once you snap them off, that's it. So I'm going to need some little Jubilee clips to fit my new one. I've got some new rocket cover bolts to go in to tidy that up, and obviously I've got a new header tank as well, so that'll be coming in the next sort of videos, I assume. Yeah, I reckon it'll probably be the next video after this one. I'll be tempted to do all the cooling, and cause that just looks awful, doesn't it, guys? It's nice to have a nice fresh new one, and obviously new rocket cover bolts, so that'll tidy that up. I'll give the engine back a bit of a clean up and stuff like that. Obviously a new one-way valve as well. So, but now let's go out for the first drive and see how it sounds. Quite look forward to it, to be fair. Well, let's hope it sounds good. Right then, let's go. Well, this is the first start since I put the plugs in, so these plugs are alright. I didn't bother gapping them because obviously it's only stock power, so there's just no point gapping them until I'm running more power. Like, shouldn't really need gapping. Stock sort of size should be alright, but I'll find out. I guess I'll gap them if I have to. I think it's 0.6 on these. Oh, I've got turbo noises. Obviously the engine's cold just at the moment, so I can't really put my foot down. Fine, that's what I wanted, man. It's silly, it's nice having the exhaust, but I've missed having like a turbo whooshy noise. Immature, I know, but I think it's cool. Sounds pretty good, to be fair. Not bad. What I'll do, guys, I'll get some heat into the car and I'll get back to you. Right there, I've got a bit of heat in the car now. I think the recirc has gone. It seems to have a little bit of a flutter on it. Oh no. Oh no. I cursed myself, didn't I? I shouldn't have said it. It sounds to me. Yeah, it sounds like it's fluttering. Bugger. Bugger. Alright, so I'm going to buy one of them then. Great. I don't know what they're like on the Astras. I have to do a bit of investigation, but I think they're just as bad on the Astras as they are on the course to get to. So, oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Might just be me, but I'll take James out in a bit, see what he thinks. He's like the Astra man. Right then, in a really weird sequence in the vlog, basically my battery died and I didn't realise I'd come to edit in the video. I realised it turned off. I didn't even know, to be honest with you. But yeah, basically update for you guys. I took the car to James. Basically the recirc is working. I mean, if you do it low boost, it does recirc. It has got a flutter higher up in the rev range, like sort of higher up high boost. It does seem to flutter more, but I forgot to take into account that it's got a rear vac box to leak, so James suspects that's the reason why it's fluttering higher up. But I say, look, when the boost comes on 3 and then about 4, it really comes on. Obviously before I couldn't hear what the turbo was doing. It's definitely made a difference to the performance of the car. I do have a suspicion the car is mapped. Bethany, who saw me in the car, wasn't sure. She said she thought it might have a map on the sports button. However, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but I don't think you can have the map on the sport button on these. I don't know. I could be completely wrong, it might have, but the way it performs under boost with the sport button on and off, it seems the same. But whereas now I can hear the turbo, and now it's got an air filter on it, it does seem to pull a lot harder. It's like, but it's very laggy. It's like it comes on boost, then about 3.5–4 grand it comes on boost more, so it pulls harder. So I don't know, it is booked in with Chris at Wayside Performance to have it data logged, have it put on the dyno, see what it's doing, see what kind of map it has, if it has one, and if it has got one of your Bob's specials from his laptop, you know, my cousin's mate down the road, oh, he does remapping, and it's got one of them terrible maps on it, it'll be getting taken off. If it's got, I ever suspect the graph is going to be everywhere, so it's going to go in for data logging, which will be in a couple of weeks videos time, I think. And then we'll basically get to the bottom of it, and if it has got a map on it, if it is a terrible map, it will be getting taken off. I do suspect that it does have a bad map on it, just how it is. Now I can hear what the turbo's doing, whereas before I couldn't really hear it, whereas now I can. But it's one of the things. I'll get it. You know me, guys. I'll do it all properly. I'll get it all sorted. You know, I won't just leave it on and just hope that my car won't blow up. I'm not, because I do want to push this car. So it is going to be getting mapped by Chris, 100%, because he's my mapper. I won't take it to anybody else. But I will get a proper map. But I'm going to wait first, because obviously I want a front mount. I want to do the EDS on it, EDS inlet, well, or the genuine fake one, and get it in for mapping then, and then we'll go from there. Bigger turbos and all that jazz. You know, I will push the car as much as I can, and then eventually we'll get a rod job and stuff like that, so I can put more power into the car. But that's ages away. That's going to be anytime soon. Obviously, I can't afford it. I'd love to just do it all now and get it done, but I can't afford it. Like you, everyone else, guys, you know, it takes a while to get some money together and then throw it at the car like I always do, and make a huge loss when I come to sell it. But yeah, so that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you all enjoy all my other videos that I've done. I always appreciate everyone who subscribes and likes all my videos and drops a comment. I read every single comment you guys leave, and I do try to reply to as many as I can. But as always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe if you're new, if you enjoy my videos, and I'll see you on the next one.